panic there, but I think we got her all figured out. I've got foam coming out of my yin yang. Whoever's on first, please let me know if you can hear me. Hi Diane, can you hear me okay? I think Cynthia's there. Welcome back, Cynthia. Perfect. Yeah, one of my cameras wasn't working, but then I realized it wasn't plugged in, so that would be why. It must have got pulled, the cable got pulled out somehow. Okay, so Diane, I know you have finished the bag already. Cynthia, you're sewing with me today, correct? So glad you're back, Cynthia. Welcome back. Yay, we missed you. Tutorial's up, finally. Better late than never, right? I did find that I cut one part wrong in the cutting video. Oh well. The littlest triangle for the flap, I didn't cut it on, or I didn't draw it out on the fold, which was wrong, but you forgot to cut out the lining pocket. We're not going to do the lining today, so we should be okay. We're just going to work on the exterior. All you need is the lining for the exterior slip pocket. We're going to work on that right away. So did you get for this part here, this slip pocket, that lining? That's the only lining you're going to need. And yeah, we're going to work mainly with the exterior stuff today. So after making this bag, I know, thank you everybody for understanding that I just really needed to get my poop in a group and have time to get this bag done so I could teach it well. Pleasantly surprised it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be, and I think we can get it done this week and next week. I don't think it's a 4-week class, so. Oh, did you? Okay, perfect. So today will be a normal length class from 3 to 5, and then next week, if it ends up that we need just a little bit more time, we will just extend it at the end. So, but I think we can do it. Yay! Yeah, there's really only one tough part, and it's just top stitching down one side of the zippers. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of repetitive stuff we've done in a lot of bags already before, so it'll be really good. So last time we had 8 people sewing along, so we will just give it a little bit of time to see if everybody pops in. Hey Jade, wow, you're on time, impressive. Jade, are you sewing with us today? And you're very pretty, Jade. Present, pretty, and punctual. Love it. Hi, Frankie. Frankie, are you sewing with us today too? I was just saying to Cynthia, we're going to try to get the exterior done today. Again, thank you everybody for understanding that I needed last Thursday off just to get caught up. I feel so much better, especially now that I have made one. And this one was my first one. And it's not a hard bag. I was pleasantly surprised. Oh, you could hear Coco. I don't even hear Coco a lot of the time anymore. So yeah. So I know that we said we were going to do a longer class today, but I don't think it will have to be a longer class. I think we can get this one done in 3 classes. It's that easy of a bag to do. So we will go the full 2 hours that we usually do today, and next week, same time. And if we need just a little bit extra at the end of next week, then we will do it then. Does that work for everybody? It is an easy bag. It doesn't look like it's an easy bag. I thought it was going to be super hard. I was super stressed out about teaching it last week when I hadn't made it yet. And as I made it, I'm like, yeah, this was easy. So I feel much better now. Much, much better. Oh, your brain hurts, huh, Jade? Cynthia, so far it's me and you. Annie was sewing along with us too. Frankie, I think you maybe. And we had 8 people in all out of the class of 34 that I know of that were making it. So yeah, so it'll be fun. It comes together so easy. So easy. Diane jumped ahead of the class and finished her bag, so she can co-teach today. Yes, the instructions are great. A lot of pages in the instructions, though. I will admit I didn't read them all. I kind of looked at the pictures and just wung it. But no, her Sewing Arts Edmana does not disappoint in her patterns at all. So we'll give it about 5 more minutes to see who else pops in, and then we will get started. So there's Coco. She missed you, Cynthia. She's usually been quite quiet. I don't even know what she's barking at. She's got a little bit of dementia now, so. Oh, you haven't sewed anything since June? Aw. Well, this will be one that's going to get your sojo going because it looks like it's a super complicated, super stylish bag without the complicated. So we will do our usual kind of format. When we get to sewing it, I'm just going to go at whatever pace that we start at. And if I'm going too fast, those that are sewing with me, please do stop me and say, I have a question, or can you give me 2 minutes, or whatever. If I don't see anything, I'm going to assume that the pace is good and we're going to keep on going. The reason we're doing it that way is a lot of time I would wait, and because I'm like 2 or 3 minutes ahead of you guys, I think, leg-wise, so I'd end up waiting, but then you guys would be in the middle of sewing something, and then you wouldn't be able to text. So I need your feedback as we go to let me know if we need to slow it down a little bit for a little bit, or just to keep on going. She does know you're here, Cynthia. She missed you. Oh, she's just losing it. Okay, it's because there is a kid on a scooter now going right on the sidewalk in front of my house, you know, like the city property, so. So for those of you that just joined in, I was just saying I made a mistake in the cutting class and in the cutting tutorial, and it's in regards to the small triangle piece. So when I drew it out during the cutting class, I didn't draw it out on the fold, so my triangle was like this big, and then when I went to sew it on, I'm like, what? Because it doesn't fit. So yeah, I don't know if you all did the same thing like I did, but yeah, it should have been cut on the fold, so it's a larger triangle, so it should look like it's a little bit wider than the bottom of this. So we have our Decovil Heavy already on the backs of everything outside of the seam allowances. We're going to do the foam together. Any questions? I forgot to put my wedding rings on today. I don't wear my wedding rings normally when I work, just because I get the glue and when I'm edge coating, I don't want to make them all messy. So, hi Annie. Annie, are you sewing with us? We were waiting for you. I knew you would pop in. I didn't see if Frankie was sewing with us. Frankie, were you sewing too? Cynthia, I don't believe you haven't sewn since June. Oh my goodness. But I get it. I totally do. I'm just going to kind of refill my clipboard here, try to get organized somewhat. I am wearing very comfy clothes. I didn't get changed, so ignore my funny pants and t-shirt. I'm about comfort today. You'll catch up? Okay, no problem, Annie. I think Frankie's sewing with us too. So does that work for you, Cynthia? As we go, if you need me to slow down, please do tell me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going. I'll try not to go too fast, but you guys can help me set the pace if that works. Again, when I'm at my machine, I can't see the chat, especially because my phone's almost dead and I can't take it over there. Oh, you were on vacation a long time. I mean a long vacation. I've had a lot of short vacations, so. Awesome. So, that's 5 of the 8 people that were here last time. Dawn is actually in Kamloops. She was going to come and co-teach with me, but because my youngest has COVID, I won't let her in the house. So, the rest of us don't have COVID. Riley just got over COVID, and now Brady has it. Don't think he caught it from Riley. I think he caught it from the Comic-Con he went to on Saturday. So yeah, I wouldn't let her come over because she has her son's wedding coming up and lots of wedding festivities, and I didn't want her to potentially catch it. I have my house completely sanitized, but just in case, better to be safe than sorry. So I took her for lunch yesterday instead. All right. So yeah, for homework, we had the straps. We won't be putting the straps on today or anything like that. So if you didn't get those done, that's fine. I didn't get mine done. So, okay. We ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. Let me just make sure, oops, I don't have my camera set up properly. Bear with me. Said I was having issues. I gotta get my table cam going. Bear with me. Oh, I think I gotta go. I was having a camera issue, and it's because I didn't have it plugged in. So, well, Riley caught it at work. He is in healthcare, but he got over it. They didn't get that sick. Brady's mainly just really tired. So, okay, I think I have my camera sorted out. My goodness, I'm sorry. You're sewing, but you're halfway through with it, Frankie. Awesome. Okay, let's do this. Where did I want to start? Okay. First thing we're going to start with is the front pocket. So this is the slip pocket in the front pocket panel. Super easy. Let me unclutter this a little bit for you. I made it so, okay, that's going to be annoying. Let me go close my curtain. 1 second. For the time of day and everything, the sun is now coming right in that window. So let me just close that up. Oh, cocoa beans. Okay, I think that'll be a little bit better. Yeah, it's changing light-wise and everything like that. The sun's starting to come down a little bit further there and shining through the mountains and everything. So, okay, that's better. So, we are going to take our lining and our exteriors, put them right sides together, and just clip along this very top here. Oh no, what am I going to do without Dawn here? She always tells me what my seam allowances are. Oh, goodness me. I better get to that page so I can look. I believe she tells us seam allowances. Is this the one she says it on each page? Okay, let me get to the page. Okay, so we're starting off on page 8 here, and we are going to sew right along here, just the top. We're not going to worry about the sides, with 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Yeah, okay, so let's hop on over to the machines and do that. Okay, 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. When you get to the bottom of the point, make sure your needle's down is right where you want to pivot. A little bit more. And before your pivot, put your needle all the way down and then part way up before you pivot, and then you won't get where it pulls. It will have caught the bobbin thread. And keep going. You know, sometimes on corners how it misses those stitches, that's why when you pivot. Just oh, come on. My camera is just going to be finicky today. There we go. Okay, then once we're there, right where this corner is, right here, we are going to cut into that corner without, like, just before where our stitching was. So just a little slit there, and that's going to make it so we can get a nice and sharp corner. Awesome, Cynthia, you're right with me. And then what we want to do is we want to push these wrong sides together. Feels a little awkward at first, but not hard. And then roll that seam and clip them wrong sides together to prepare it for top stitching. Oops. Diane, I print the instructions only when I'm doing classes because it's just easier to see where I am with them, and I already have so many computers going at the same time. So, but when it's just a pattern that I'm doing that isn't a class, I rarely print the instructions. But this one was a lot of pages. Okay, sure that's nice and taut, that seam. This is more vinyl from Indonesia that I bought last year. This bag is just perfect for it. Okay, and then just along this top, we're going to go and top stitch that with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I didn't check my tension. I think it's okay. Find out. Looks good on the top. And, oh, it's hard to see. Yeah, it's good on the bottom too. Good. Might help if I actually turn the light on. Oh my goodness, Coco. All right. Looks good. It's because school's out. So I have an elementary school and a high school a block away. So yeah. Just pull it up and follow it on the laptop. My laptop is one of my cameras. Usually I have my iPad and everything, but I have 2 screens going here and 4 cameras going, so it's just too much for me. All right. So that is where we are at there. So let me know when you're there, Cynthia and Frankie. And while I wait, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out, not those. We are going to need our our D-ring and our swivel clasp connectors.
We're now on page 9. You're done? Perfect. Okay, so on our connectors, we're going to prepare these both at the same time. So these are for our, I'm using an O-ring. Oh, do I want to use a D-ring for this one? I think I'm going to use a D-ring for this one. I was going to use an O-ring like the other one, but I think I'll use a D-ring on this one. And my swivel clasp. Come off. Awesome. You guys are fast today. Coco's even proud of you. Okay. So just like we do with any connector, we're just going to use some double-sided tape or clips or whatever it is you like. Some tape down the middle. And then bring those long edges into that center line that we drew when we were cutting this out. One of them. Oh my goodness, Coco. She'll calm down soon. She's been quiet all day. She just gets excited when it's school out time and she can yell at people walking on the sidewalk in front of the house. It's a 3/4 inch D-ring for these. We are doing this part right here. So this is the only 3/4 inch stuff. This one I used a 1 inch O-ring on because that's all I had for matte black. I didn't have a D-ring. And a 3/4 inch swivel. Then it's 1 inch for the rest of the hardware. I don't think you'd want to go much bigger for that front. I mean, you could, but you'd have to readjust these because these were cut for 3/4 inch hardware. All right. So on the back side of both of these, I'm going to use a little bit more double-sided tape. Again, you don't have to use double-sided tape if you don't want to, but I like it. Ah, I moved my garbage can. Just put it on one of the short sides for both. Actually, not for one, just for one of them, do that for now. Okay, and then we're going to take our D-ring, and the side that we put that double-sided tape on, we are going to measure in 2 inches. Let me find my ruler and my pen. And this is going to be for the placement of that D-ring. So 2 inches. Okay. We're going to take our D-ring. We're going to put it over, and at that 2 inch mark, that's where we're going to fold this over a wrong size together, like so. Okay. Take the tape off. Put it down nice and even. So this is what it looks like right here. Then from where the D-ring folds over, you can measure down. I measured down about 3/4 inch. I find at that 3/4 inch, it leaves room for a rivet above the line and below the line. It makes it so you don't run over your hardware with your walking foot. Okay. Everybody still with me? Oh my goodness, Coco. Now for this one, this is for the swivel clasp. In the pattern, I couldn't find anywhere where she top stitched this piece I'm talking about. I didn't top stitch it in this one, but I think I prefer it with top stitching, so I'm going to do it with that one. So when we go to the machine to finish this, we're also going to take this one and we are going to top stitch 1/8 inch down each of the sides. You can decide if you want to do that. I don't believe it's in the pattern unless I missed it. I am apologizing for Coco. She is just, oh my goodness. So now what we want to do, and this is very important, is you want to kind of flip the lining up and out of the way, because we want to make sure we're not going to be sewing through that lining piece. We want to take the exterior piece and find that bottom center. I could have done this before, but I didn't. Make your mark or snip, whatever you want to do. And then again, with the lining up and out of the way, we're going to take the D-ring connector. I'm going to use some tape to hold it in place, just on the bottom here, a little bit. If you do it right in the middle, as long as you keep it away from the 1/8 of an inch from the side, if your machine doesn't like double-sided tape, you will not go through it. You found the same thing, so I didn't miss it in the instructions. Hey Jade, it's not top stitched. Hey, we're going to top stitch it because I think it looks better. Okay, then we're going to take that paper off, and we are going to, does she let it hang over a little bit? I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't think so. No. We're going to put this nice and centered, kind of eyeball it along that bottom edge, like so, and stick it down. And double check your measurements here. That says 3 3/8. That's, wow, 3 3/8. I'm nice and centered already. Diane, did it look better with the top stitching? I said I did it with this one, but for some reason it just, see, there's such lovely top stitching everywhere else, but not on this piece. So I think that's why we're going to do it. I just think it's going to be nicer. Hi, Dexter. And of course, Dexter just lies down on my feet because he can. Okay, so once we have that centered and secured, we're going to make sure the lining is out of the way. We're going to top stitch up one side, pivot across that line, and then top stitch down the other side. Oh, there you go, Jade. So yeah, I experienced the same thing. So we're going to do that, and then we're also going to top stitch the swivel clasp anchor as well. Okay, let's do this. Dexter, I have to step over my dog to get over here. Okay, so we're going to top stitch this one first. I said you can decide if you want to top stitch this piece or not, but I didn't on the last one and I wish I had. And it takes no time to do, so why not? Okay, and again, when doing the pocket, make sure the lining is out of the way. You do not want to sew through the lining piece. Make sure it stays nice and straight. Pivot across that line. And down the other side. There we go. Okay. So I gotta go figure out where I put my rivets because we're going to do that. So I'm going to grab my rivets and rivet press. I'm going to see if Dexter wants to leave the room. Dexter, come on. Come on, Dexter. Come outside. Come on. Go see Coco. We're quiet. There you go. Thank you, baby. Okay. Use them. Good metal. Yay. Look it, I'm already a mess here. Wowzers. So again, you can see how I went through the exterior but not through the lining, and it's the same if you're putting rivets in. So I'm going to put a rivet about a 1/2 inch down from that crossing line we did, and about the same distance up. I just eyeball it. I never measure. You guys do you. And that's where I'm going to put 2 rivets in, backed with scraps of Decovil Heavy. Okay, no problem, Cynthia. So yes, we can put those rivets in while we wait for Cynthia. If you're doing rivets. I don't know if everybody's doing rivets, but I am. You can do 1, you can do 2. This is the section we're doing down here. I did 2. I don't think it's going to be a place that's going to have a lot of stress on it, so you can decide what you want to do. Just make sure it's not going through that lining piece. Oops. This vinyl from Indonesia, it is so soft that it almost feels like leather. I am using medium rivets, 9mm. Can you see that? Whoopsies. 9mm by 8mm from Emmeline bags. But you could really use any rivets. I wouldn't use too long of a post. It's not super thick. You could use small or medium, I'm sure. Again, I put my scraps of Decovil Heavy. Nothing goes to waste here. Okay, and set those in place. One, 2. Okay. So everybody let me know when you're there, and then we will move on. See? Looks good so far. I'm just going to get Frankie's done. Okay. We're going to be working on our flap next, so if you want to take out your flap pieces. Where are you? There you are. Flap pieces. I know I'm jumping around the pattern a little bit, but there's an order in my head that I like to make bags in, and you guys just get to suffer with me. Okay, we'll give it another couple of minutes. Yeah, we're waiting for you, Cynthia, no problem. I cannot keep my workstation uncluttered for the life of me. You should see my floor. Oh my goodness. We are jumping to page 29. Gone from 9 to 29. Are you following along, Jade? Out of curiosity, has anybody started making their up and away bag yet? I'm so excited to see your up and away bags. It's not even funny. Awesome. Woohoo! Okay. So again, we're going to take this piece because now we can base down all of these sides, but we'll take it to the machine when we sew next, just so we're not jumping back and forth too much. So you can go ahead and clip all the raw edges together. And we will just leave that at the machine, and then we'll hop on over there in a moment and we will sew it when we do this part at the same time. My son's asking me if I want a coffee. 1 second. Yes, I want a Starbucks. 1 second. Sugar-free, vanilla, latte, iced. There we go. I got a good kid. Ooh, I'm excited, Frankie. You should share your, have you shared your materials yet? Okay, so set this aside for now. We will base that when we go to the machine. Back to this strap. So now on one of the short ends, I just use a little bit of double-sided tape so it'll stay together. I'm a little longer here than I should be. We're going to take our swivel clasp. You want a coffee too, Cynthia? Okay, I'll tell him to get right on it. Put it over top and bring it wrong sides together, matching up that short edge. So just folding it in half, like so. Which works good. Okay. Then we're going to take the larger piece of the flap. Now, this is the one where you could have decided what you're going to do. I decided I like Decovil Heavy in my flap, and I have it outside of the seam allowances. We want to find our top and bottom centers and make our marks or snips. Okay, I placed your guys' Starbucks orders with Riley. I actually only had one coffee today, and I'm feeling it a little bit. Holy. All right. So on whichever side is your wrong side, I guess it doesn't really matter. You can clip it, or you can use a little bit of double-sided tape to hold it in place. You do whatever you like. I always feel more secure with double-sided tape. Just on the bottom edge. And you are going to put this nice and centered along that short bottom edge of this, just like so. I've got to make sure I don't need any hanging over. I don't think so. So it's just going to go nice and centered right there. Again, you want to make sure it is nice and centered so they're going to line up. So measure. So from here to there, it's 1 7/8. Oh my gosh, how did I get it perfect both times? Amazing. I'm happy. All right, so we got that nice and secured there. Now we're moving to page 30. You can go ahead and baste that on, but I use the tape to baste it, but you could baste it. I'm just going to go right in with the triangle that I originally cut bad. On this long straight edge, we want to find that center. Small snip, and you can see where it's going to go right here. We're going to put it right sides together, sandwiching that swivel clasp, matching up that center mark that we have on the back side here, and securing it with clips. Oop. Oh, that one died. All my clips are slowly breaking. I think they're all the same age and they all get worn out the same amount. Now you're going to see there's like these little wings hanging out the side. That is right. I wish I could have the caramel ribbon crunch, but unfortunately being diabetic, I can only do sugar-free. That is still good. All right. So that's what that should look like. Let me check my seam allowance. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to so that's okay, Kim. We start classes at, we started 40 minutes ago. We start 3 p.m. Pacific time. We're an hour earlier than we used to be. We changed the times in September. No, you fold it right in half, Cynthia. Short edge to short edge, right in half. Okay, so everybody let me know once you're to this point, and then we will do that. So yeah, that connector is completely folded in half. We changed the time to help save daylight because I'm in the basement and this time of year it starts getting so dark so fast that I lose my light in here and it gets hard to see. So, Kim, were you making this with us? Oh no, it's forever until we change it again. Sorry about that. It's for the winter months for sure, and then we'll reevaluate in the summer again. And it made it so those that were East Coast weren't having to stay up so late. Awesome, Kim. Frankie's done. Cynthia's done. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to sew across here with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then while we're at the machine, we're going to end up pushing this down and then sewing through the triangle with this, I'll make sure I'm doing it right, pointing up, pointing down, sorry. Oops, I'm confusing myself. Please hold. Oh yeah. We'll be folding this down. So then this will end up going downwards and we will top stitch through the top panel here, but we'll do that at the machine and I'll walk you through that there. So 1/4 inch, as well as we're going to baste the 3 raw edges of this one. Oh, I think my coffee might be here. No, it's not. Okay. Okay, so I'll start with basting that one first. Again, Miss Coco's losing her beans, so. So first the baste. Ooh, I tried to unthread my needle. Get back in there. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that one is done. And now this one, 1/4 of an inch. Oh, I hear sirens. What's going on, Kamloops? Do you guys hear those sirens? Oh my goodness. Hopefully everyone's okay. Okay, so this is, here we go. This is what we got, that seam. We want to push this down, but we want to push the seam upwards. So it's pushed up towards the wider part. And then we are going to top stitch that seam in place through the top of it, making sure that our strap is hanging down this way. Okay. Did that go straight? I think so. Okay. All right. So let me know when we're there. I think I'm straight. Straight-ish. And we're going to do more rivet work, but we will wait. I'm going to measure because last time when I did my rivets, I almost did them too far down. 1/2 inch. Yeah. So that's what that looks like so far. So we're top stitched through the top part, and this kind of flops nice and free. Oh, Dawn, is Kamloops wearing you out? I was talking about missing you because you're my seam allowance person. Are you having a good time in Kamloops, Dawn? So it would have been cool if you were here with me teaching with me, but Brady's COVID line is very faint now, so he's close to the end of it, which is good. Awesome. The weather's nice today. How's everybody making out? See, Dawn, you want to move to Kamloops. Kamloops is awesome. Oh no, Cynthia. You're done? Perfect. You got your Band-Aid? And you're done. Perfect. Everybody is right on par with each other. That makes for super easy class. Okay, so this is the part I want to talk about because I almost made this mistake. I got super lucky. So in the flap, see where I put the 2 rivets there? I almost put this rivet too low. Like, look how hard it was for me to top stitch. Look how close it is there, because we got to top stitch around that. So this second rivet, I definitely put too low. So we do not want to do that this time. So you can decide if you just want to do one rivet or two rivets. You do want a rivet, otherwise it kind of flops around too much, I find, and the rivets just add something really nice. So from the seam where the two triangles met, I'm going to measure down centered 1/2 inch. And that'll be my first rivet. And you can decide if you want to do two rivets like me or not. Make sure it's nice and centered. And then maybe go down 5/8 of an inch from the next one. Let me just double check it. No. Yeah. So 5/8 of an inch. I just kind of put my 5/8 of an inch part of my ruler right in the middle of that dot. And I'm going to do another one right below it. That, I eyeballed it and I almost cried. So that should work there. So 1/2 inch from the seam, and then from the center of the dot you make 5/8 of an inch down or a 1/2 inch down from the other one. And that's where I recommend putting them. So let's go ahead and do that. Because we have Decovil Light already on the back, I don't need to back it with more Decovil Light or Decovil Heavy. If you don't have any Decovil Heavy, I would definitely put scraps behind it. So make sure that this is laying nice and flat before you do this, because it's going to make it stay there. Make sure it's nice and centered. Again, these are more for decoration than security, but it also makes it so it doesn't flop around. Okay. See, they're quite a bit closer than they were on this one. See? But it's going to be a lot easier. And then put those in place. Okay, and then let me know when you're all done that. Almost done the flap. So now we're moving on to page 31. Excuse me. I'm just going to open my window a little bit to get a little air in here while we wait. Cynthia's done. Oopsies, come on. If I can open my window, there we go. Old windows. Sorry for the noise, guys. There's just a really nice breeze out there and it's gorgeous. Rivets are in. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure this thing is not going to get caught in the seam when we do this. So you can just fold it up and put it on, or however. I'm going to use a little bit of masking tape just to hold it up and out of the way. You want to pull it as tight as you can out of the way. And that's why we didn't want our rivets to be too close to this edge. I might still be too close. We'll find out. And I'm just going to tape that up and out of the way so I will not sew through it. That would, to the tiny triangle. You just have to be careful, Jade, that you don't go too close to where the seam is when we put them together, right? Because you need this to be free and clear of everything. Okay, so once we have that, I'm going to find the top center. Actually, I'm just going to lay it on top, put them right sides together, and clip them all together. Yeah, you'd hate it if you sewed it all the way to the triangle and then you found out that you couldn't sew through it. Now it's going to look like it's kind of bubbling out, but that's because we got that connector in there, so it kind of is. Just work with it, kind of flatten everything out best you can. When Riley gets home, I will pre-warn you guys, you will hear Coco start baying because she gets excited when her people come home. So she will get loud here pretty quick. Okay, so once we have that clicked on, so this top part where I've clipped, you're not going to sew the very top because that is what we're going to use to turn it around. We're just going to do the sides and down the triangle part and up with a, I believe it's a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Let me double check. Yes, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm also going to put on my right zipper foot or a narrow foot if you have one, because when we get down to where that hardware is, it'll make, if you have too wide of a foot, it's going to be hard to get that seam allowance to get nice and close to that hardware. You'll be like needing a hump jumper and everything. So a zipper foot or a narrow foot would be very handy just when it comes to coming around this corner where we do have that connector with the swivel clasp on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So first off, take my machine off and change into that zipper foot. I got to clean in there. I can see blue waterproof canvas on the inside, dust from doing those airplane wings for my dad. Okay, so again, we're not doing that top edge. We are just going around the sides. Make sure you pivot at the corners so you get a really nice angled shape. Oopsies. I'm actually going to grab my stiletto to help me hold it in place once I get down to that corner. And you'll see how close this is going to get. So, but with the zipper foot, you can go like so close, right next to it almost. We'll use it when we go to top stitch this as well. Make sure you pivot at the bottom corner as close as you can to the correct seam allowance so you have a right shape of a piece. It looks like I'm going to get it, hopefully. Tell you, not used to sewing a triangle. that's it. Oh, oh, you guys. I backstitched. I got my backstitch in, and then my bobbin ran out. I feel like I won the lottery. Holy moly. Wow. That never happens. That was lucky. Should buy a lottery ticket. Holy. Okay. Great, so everybody let me know when you're there. Oh, thank you, Jade. Yes, 3/8. I can't. Yeah, so that was on page, we're on page 32 that has all of that written down. Not today, bobbin. I won the bobbin battle. Yay, bobbin chicken. I don't like bobbin chicken. Okay, let me clear my table while I wait. You tell we're easily pleased when we're just happy that we win bobbin chicken. Hey, guys? Throwing stuff on my floor. Alrighty, we're doing good time. We have such a great group here helping each other out. Thank you. And it really helps me out for those that are just following along, because I know there's quite a few that do follow along and then they sew afterwards, that when it's stuff like that and I can't see the chat, if you help with the seam allowances and everything, that's fantastic. I wish I could see all of you sewing, though. That would make my time go faster. It would be nice to be able to actually hear the voices and talk to the people. But that's okay. Cynthia's done. Excellent, excellent. Frankie probably isn't too far behind. Any problems getting around that connector, Cynthia? Gonna need our scissors here momentarily. You can see I'm ready. Coffee time. Yeah, where's my coffee? I bet you he passes it to me through this window when he gets here. But you'll know when it's here because Coco will just start going crazy. Another minute or so. There's a weird bird sound outside my window. Holy moly. Or it might be Brady upstairs. I don't know. You hear that? I have no idea what that is. What a weird sound. Okay. So now what we're going to do, Frankie, if I get too far ahead, let me know, okay? Is right at this point, we're going to cut like so without cutting. Just gonna kind of trim up a little bit around that point to help us get a nice solid point. So you can kind of see how I trimmed it up without cutting the stitches. And then on these corners, we're going to do the same thing and just kind of cut on an angle, just to take away the bulk in those seams that we want to have a nice and sharp square. See there? Shape. And then you can go ahead and turn this right side out. I'm so not used to working with a waterproof canvas. It feels so weird to me. So weird. Like the sound and everything, it just kind of is weird to me. Press out all of those seams where those corners are. Make sure you poke them out. This is a huge focal point of the bag, so you want to make sure you take the time to do all of those. Oh, she looks so pretty already. Grab a pokey tool to do my triangle point. Look how sharp she is. Look at that. I'm so proud of me. So you can see I don't have that much room still for going around and doing my top stitching, but it'll work. Okay, and once you have those all poked out, we can go ahead and clip and prepare for top stitching. We're also going to be basting this very top, so you can go ahead and clip the top as well. No unicorns this week. For those of you that were here when there was unicorns, it turns out it was those two girls dressed as unicorns were and daughters of one of my good friends. They actually ended up after class that day poking their head in through this window, scaring the poop out of me. They're hilarious. Okay, so for top stitching this, I'm still going to keep my zipper foot on because I'm still going to have to get really close to that connector, and it's just going to help me do that. So again, we're going to baste across the top, and we're going to top stitch down the finished edges. Now when you get to where the connector is, kind of just pull it out of the way so you can get through with that 1/8 of an inch, and then pull it out of the way this way to get up there to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Oops, I just gotta readjust this. So baste the top and top stitch everything else. Make sure your needle's down when you have to pivot at the corners. Try to make a nice clean pivot so it keeps its shape good. Check I think my stitching is okay. It's hard to tell because it's black. I can loosen it up a little bit. Okay, and this is where you're going to see how that zipper foot is going to be helpful. So I'm going to take where my connector is and I'm going to kind of fold it out of the way to expose where I'm top stitching. And my zipper foot should go right in along it perfectly. And it does. Pivot at the corner. Kind of pulled your connector out of the way again. Okay, and you can go ahead, once you're done that, you can change back into your standard foot. We will be changing back into the zipper foot in a little bit, but we don't need it right now. Oh my gosh, what a disastrous mess. I really need to take time to clean my studio. Okay. All right. And you can take the tape off of your clip. And that is what we've got. That's for my neighbor's home now, so Coco's going to bark at her a little bit. Oh, the joys of having a coonhound. So once you have that done, we can set that aside. We are all done with that for now. Oh, cocoa beans. Okay, so let me know when you're all done that, and then we will move on to the front panel again. I'll find out where we are in the pattern. Okay. Can everybody still hear me okay? Cynthia's done? I'm not sure if you were at this stage or not, Frankie, so please do let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to move forward. Stop me if I need to. Okay, so now we have that slip pocket that we have already done. We have our front main panel, and we're going to need 2 of our straps. Now, or strap connectors. So this was something I was doing different than the pattern. Was in the pattern, she has D-rings for the connectors for the straps, and then she connects the straps with swivel clasps. I'm never going to be removing the handles, so I figured the swivel clasps are expensive, and I decided I was just going to fix the handles to the bag so they wouldn't come off. So I opted out of the D-rings for the 4 rectangular rings. Okay. So if you are doing the D-ring thing, you do this exactly the same, except for you will be using rectangular or D-rings instead of rectangular rings. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take our main front panel and we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to mark our top and bottom center. Again, I'd like to do little snips. You like the way I did it, Cynthia? Or with the D-rings? Both ways are good, equally good. Okay, so now we're going to take our pocket, and I'm actually, because I can't use pins, I'm just going to put little teeny tiny pieces of double-sided tape because I'm going to use that to hold this down while I baste it in place. Not very big pieces, just little ones, just somewhere on the sides. Because once I get this centered, I do not want it to move. So on the wrong side. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark, where did my center go? The center of our pocket with the center of the main piece and clip it in place. You like the way I did it? Yeah. I'm all about, especially because these are bags to sell, if I can keep the cost down. I mean, these swivel clasps add that extra little bit of bling, but not for the $10 for me for the 4 swivel clasps. Okay, so I've got that in place, but I want to make sure that this is completely straight and centered. So I'm going to measure in from the sides and adjust as I need to. See how lucky I can get to be centered again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.5-ish. Okay, I got to move it over just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. And you want this to be as centered as it possibly can. So the swivel clasp and the D-ring will meet up and not be lopsided to one another. Bye, Frankie. Enjoy your grandkids. Message me if you need help. Three 5/8. There we go. So mine are about 3 5/8 to the edge. Once I like where that's sitting, I'm just going to go ahead and take off the backing and stick it down. Same with the opposite side. Just like so. I'm going to double check it again. It's very important. 3 5/8. 3 5/8-ish, yeah. And then just on this pocket, you're going to start at the top of the pocket and you're just going to baste down to hold it in place, baste across the bottom, and then baste up again to the top of the pocket. Okay, so let's go do that. Oh, Coco. Oops, I almost forgot to do the other side. The other side. Man, I wish I bought more of this faux leather. It feels like leather. It is so nice. So nice. And it was so cheap. Like $3 a meter only, you guys. It's crazy. Okay, so let me know when you're there. And then we are going to be on page 13 of the pattern for the next step. Ouch. Owie. I stepped. Do you know what hurts worse than stepping on Lego is stepping on a Wonder Clip? Ow! Hey Dawn, do you want to come over tomorrow and help me clean my studio? Okay, Riley just pulled in. See, Coco loves him. No problem, Cynthia. We just have a few more things to show. We're making really good time for what I wanted to get done today to stay on track. Dawn got to have Coco bark at her yesterday. Dawn knows exactly what they look like when they're doing what you can hear, because you can hear Dexter doing his howl and his bark, and then Coco and her deep bark. I'm going to have me my coffee. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. I'm looking out the window for my coffee. Where did he go? She loves you, yeah. And Dexter just barks because she's barking. He's a copycat like that. Riley! I'm kind of excited for my latte. I'm gonna grab my latte. Latte! He's coming through the window here. Delivery window, coffee please.
Take my bag of primer.
You spent a lot of money. Oh, you got my pictures too. Excellent. No problems picking them up? Thank you.
Actually, didn't spend a lot of money. They're $5 a can.
Nice.
Did
you look at them to make sure they're okay?
No, I haven't opened them.
Okay, can you take the cards, please? Thank you. All right. They picked up my, I had my family pictures done and they were printed, so he picked them up for me as well. So hopefully they turned out lovely. Cynthia's done? Okay, I'll stop scrolling. I'll look at those later. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to take this main panel and we want to baste it to some foam before we do the next step. Do I have a piece of foam that's going to fit this? I do. So, Cynthia, are you using foam? You want to start? I got it delivered to my basement window here. Like I'm in the basement. Did he do sugar free? Yeah, he did. I think it's been sitting in the ice a while. Okay. So this is the trick that we do with foam. You want to see the pictures? I'll show them to you later once we get all of our work done. So with foam, especially because we love sew-in foam, but we don't like the bulk of the sew-in foam. So I'm just repeating myself because I know we've done this before, but I mean, there's some that are just coming back to us, so we're just going to revisit it. So I've got my piece all laid out, and I'm going to cut my foam about 1/4 of an inch or so bigger than my piece. So this is why I don't pre-cut my foam, because I use my piece as my template here. Okay. And having that extra 1/4 of an inch round just helps us have something to grab onto to trim the foam nice and thin. Okay, so see how it's a little bit bigger? So I'm just going to go now and put some clips all the way around. And then we're going to go ahead and baste that with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. You will do the exact same thing for homework. We're not going to do it together, but you'll do this for the back panel for next week, as well as the bottom panels. Those will all need to be basted to foam. The same process. If you are using Decovil Heavy, I think, Jade, was it that? No, that was for, I was thinking Annie. Annie was using that for the Tuesday bag. My goodness. you just have to make sure you fuse everything outside of the seam allowances. But this is for a sew-in foam where you can't put it outside of the seam allowances. I love foam. This is a trick that Anna taught me that she learned at upholstery school. You'll see this in a lot of mine and Anna's patterns. But it just makes it so we can condense that edge. You could also zigzag it if you wanted to, but I find this just as fast and not as much thread wasted. Okay, so once I have this clipped, I'm going to take it to the machine and baste it. So homework, you will be doing this exact same thing again with the back panel and the bottom panels. We're not going to do that together, but we'll need that done for next week. Okay, so let's go ahead and baste this. Oh, this part here isn't for homework. The one panel we're going to do right now together so we can finish up the straps. But you can just watch and finish up the straps on your own too, because you're going to do it later on. So I'll explain what we're going to do. We'll get the straps all prepped and then we will I'll show you what to do. Okay, so baste this around with 1/8 of an inch, and then I will show you how to trim this up. All right. But yes, we're getting to the point soon. Like, I'm just trying to do all the prep work so we can start next class with the hardest part of the bag, which isn't the hardest part at all. So just look at my calendar. So we got next week. Yeah. What is the date today? Today's the 19th. Yeah, so we still got 2 more. Oh no, okay, never mind. Sorry, I'm in my own brain. Okay, so this is what I mean for the foam. So when you flip this over, see how giving that extra makes it so you can pull the foam away from the vinyl? You're gonna put your scissors kind of on a side like this. You're not cutting the vinyl, you're just cutting the foam. And I'm gonna show you how much, okay. See here, that's where we trimmed it. See how thin it is compared to say up here? It makes a huge difference, and it makes it like super, super thin and easily manageable in those corners. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. We're gonna do one more thing here, but I forgot to do it. That's okay. Usually I cut 1 inch out of these top corners, but I already basted it, but we can still do it. I wasn't thinking. And it's just trying to keep that bulk out of those corners, especially if you are on a machine that is sensitive to thicknesses. Because when you go to top stitch it, that's when your walking foot may totally eat up your fabric. And again, if you're using a fusible interfacing for this, you would just make sure they're a 1/2 inch all the way around outside of the seam allowances. But I'm a foam girl. I like foam. What are you using, Cynthia? Are you using foam or are you using a fusible interfacing? Okay, so this is where I wish I had been thinking, but I wasn't. So in these top corners here at the very top, I usually like to keep, and you guys just saw it when we did the Trailblazer, I like to keep about 1 inch of foam outside of those top corners. So I wasn't thinking when I basted it on, so I'm gonna have to cut those out right now. So I'll just, that's okay. I'll use my handy dandy new seam ripper. Use your duckbill scissors, that works perfectly too. I don't have those, I don't think. Actually I might in my, I might, I don't know. Might in my English paper piecing stuff. So I'm just gonna pull my basting stitches out at that point, just in that 1 inch, so I can cut out that 1 inch of foam. And it's just really gonna help, trust me. So when you go to do the back piece of this, make sure you're keeping the foam out of the top corners. So I'm just gonna cut it away like this. Doesn't have to be exact. Just like that. I just made more work for myself. It's all good. Again, this isn't in the pattern. This is just a Brandy thing. And I do that whenever I'm using bags that have that top area that can get really thick. So that's what that looks like. I'm not going to worry about going and back stitching those basings. It'll be fine. I'm going to have that all sewn in pretty quick. Okay. So are we good, Cynthia? Can I move on to the straps, or are you doing your foam? Coffee. So next class, if all goes well, we're going to be doing the side zippers, which puts it all together, and the lining. So the first half I'm hoping to do the side sections with the zippers and putting on the bottom, and the second half the lining, and then we're done. Like we've done a lot of the work already. Move on. Okay. I'm only going to move on to, we're almost done for what we are going to do today. Because again, I want to save the hard part for the beginning of next class when we're all fresh. So I'm going to take 2 of my connectors. You will do the same for the back connectors when you do your back panel, okay? So once again, we have our center line drawn. And it's very important to do these connectors after the foam is basted because it gives it that extra amount to grab onto for the security. Oh, the cat's watching me. Aw. Okay, so you're going to take the long edges and fold them into that center line. It's a lot of repetitive stuff. I said next class, if we don't get her all done, we may run a half hour over or so, but I think we will be pretty good. Okay, same with the other one. Gosh, I love this vinyl. It seriously feels like leather on the right side. It's just so gorgeous. I think I have enough of each of these colors to do another bag too, so you will see. Okay, now just like we did with the connectors, we're going to take a small bit of tape on one side. Of our straps here. Okay. Good night, Cam. And then we're going to measure down. Let me double check. 1.5 inches with an erasable pen. So 1.5, unlike the 2 inches we did with the other one, but 1.5. 1.5. Okay. Then we're going to take our rectangular rings. Oops, I gotta open them up. Okay. And just like we did with the D rings, you're going to bring them down and fold them over at that 1.5 inch line, and then use that small piece of tape to secure that in place. Nice and straight so you don't see it on the opposite side. Do the same with the other side. Oopsies. Come on, tape. There we go. Fold it down. You want to make sure that they're the same length, which they are, and then from that folded line, or where it folds over that rectangular ring, we want to measure down 3/4 inch again for our sewing mark. You could do 1 inch too if you wanted to, 3/4 inch to 1 inch-ish. I like 3/4. Just like so. Okay. Then on the back side, I'm going to take tape outside of the top stitching seam allowance up the middle, because it's going to hold it in place, to just where it starts, where that fold over is, just so it kind of holds that in place. But don't go too much more above that. So right about, see where that is right there? Oh man, my tape is fighting me today. Okay, there we go. All right. Still with me, Cynthia? No pressure, no rush. We still got 25 minutes. We're good. Believe it or not, I actually made a class plan for today. I feel like an official teacher. Isn't that funny? Okay. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. Maybe we'll do it this way. So you could use a ruler if you wanted to. I used a ruler in the tutorial, but I'll show you how you can use the pattern piece for this marking. And so she's got kind of lines on the pattern piece for our placement. You know what? No, I don't like that. We're going to do it my way. It will just go straighter. So you'll need a ruler. So from that center mark of our main panel, we want to measure over, let me find it. Where are we? 1, 2, should be 7 inches. Place the strap connectors to the bottom between the marks you made, ensuring you cover the side. Okay, no. So from the center of this thing here, so the center of the mark, we want to draw a line at 3.5 inches from that center. I'm just going to mark what my center was, because I can't really see it there. So I know that is the center right there. So we want to draw a line 3.5 inches from the center of our pocket here, and just draw a line like so. Do the same on the opposite side, 3.5 inches. You can use the pattern piece for marking as well, but this is just, I think this is just easier, and then you can use rulers as your guide. Now, one thing we want to make sure is that in between those marks, there should be about 7 inches. And look at that, I'm exactly 7 inches, but you also want to make sure you're nice and centered here. So I'm 3.25 inches from the line to the edge as well. Worked out good. Good night, Dawn. Okay, and this is where we're going to use our ruler. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to line it to the right of that line, okay? So I'm going to put it nice and straight along that line. So we're working on the left-hand side, okay? We're going to take the tape off the back and we're going to line it nicely and evenly along this ruler, and because our ruler is straight, it should be straight. And stick it down with that tape. Now you are going over the edge of the pocket, which is what we want because that is going to conceal that edge of that pocket. See? All gone. Do the same with the opposite side, except for the line is to the right of the ruler. I just find this helps make it so you get it nice and straight. So you don't have to worry about if your drawing was off or whatever. Your ruler is straight. And it's such a nice solid guide for placing a straight strap. And then that tape helps. So again, you're going to double check that it's 7 inches in between strap to strap. 3 1/4, 3 3/4. I'm good to go. So now what we're going to do is just like we did with the connector, we're going to top stitch up this side, across the line we drew, and back down the other side, and do the same with the opposite side. You will do the exact same thing with the back panel once you have the foam on, except you won't have this pocket. You'll just be working from that middle line. So let's go ahead and do. Alrighty. Pretty fast so far, hey? It's not too bad. Pivot at that line. Pivot. Across. And down the opposite side. Like that, one side done. Next side. Pivot. Same pivot for Dawn's sake, and she's not even here. Oh, she looks so pretty. All right. A 3/4 inch from the rectangular ring. I can measure it the other way for you too. 1 second here. I did 3/4 inch from the rectangle ring, or it can be 8 inches from the bottom, whichever way works. Ish. 3/4 to 1 inch ish. Look how pretty it looks so far. And then I think we're actually going to finish a few minutes early, believe it or not. And then I'm also going to put rivets about a 1/2 inch below that line, 1/2 inch above that line on both sides. But I can do that for homework. No problem. So that's all I had today. That's actually a good part of the exterior construction. As you can see, it goes so fast. So I feel like I'm giving you a lot of homework, but I promise We did the time-consuming stuff today. We have one more time-consuming thing to do next week. We have a full hour to get it done, which I'm sure we can get it done. But for homework, I need you to do the back panel the exact same way we did with this, but it won't have this pocket. So the back panel, you'll first, based on your foam, make sure you cut the foam out of the top corners. And then you'll go ahead and sew on your straps, just like we did here, or your connectors. Your bottom panel, you're going to sew on your foam. And your two lining main panels, I want you to do your lining pockets the way you like to do your lining pockets. We all do our lining pockets the same. I don't do them the same as the pattern. I will do them my way that I do in all the bags, which you guys have all walked through with me before. So decide what you want for your lining pockets and do your lining pockets for homework as well. But please make sure you leave your zipper pocket. You do have to have a zipper pocket in it, and leave the bottom of the zipper pocket open for when we close it up later. Does that work for everybody? I promise you it's maybe only 15 minutes of homework. It's not that much. And as well, oh no, do you know what I forgot to do? So I forgot to put, I was going to put my nameplate on my thing here. So what I'm going to end up doing, and you guys may want to do the same, because I totally forgot about the nameplate that we're going to put right on the top of the flap. So maybe for homework as well, undo the basting on the top of your flat and install your nameplate about an inch above here. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so if you're doing a nameplate, we should have done it on here, but thankfully we didn't sew it to anything, so we can just undo this basting stitch here and put the nameplate just through the exterior, not through the lining if you're doing that, okay? So sorry about that. I totally had a brain fart about that. So nameplate on the flap. Make sure you only put the flap through the exterior part. Back panel, which is going to take you like no time to do it all. Bring some coffee for the beginning of the class. We're going to have to start right away because what we're going to be doing for the first hour are these zippers. These zippers aren't hard except for the final top stitch. So we'll be burning through that the first hour. Second hour, we will be doing the lining, which takes like, I swear, if you have your pockets done, it's going to take 3 minutes. Like, it's so fast. And then it's putting the whole bag together. That's really all it is. So yeah, hour 15 minutes to do the sides, and we'll be done. What do you think, Diane? Do you think that that's doable, hey? It's really only that one top stitch that's a pain in the butt. But we can do it. So yeah, today was getting all of the prep work done, showing you guys how to get all of the panels done, and then we can put all of the panels together next week. If we need to run over a little, we can, and if we end up needing even more time, we can always schedule in another day as well. So not a big deal. Does that work for everybody? The tutorial is also up for members if you want to kind of see what we will be doing next week as per those side zippers. If you want to give yourself a heads up, I can see this in the camera. It looks like leather and it feels like it. Oh, you want to see my pictures? Okay. So my sister-in-law is an amazing photographer, and in August, we haven't had our family pictures done in so long. Like, I think my last picture with the boys that was done was 2018, I want to say. Oh, they did well. This is the picture she took of me, Dave, and the boys. Isn't that lovely? Dave is 6'5", I am 5'2", and the boys are 6'2" and 6'4". Don't worry about the zipper, Cynthia. We got it. I'll walk you through it. So, in order for me to be in the picture and not have my head cut off or Dave's head cut off, we were sitting in this Ardennanic, I can't say the word, chair that my parents had that has like a little beer cooler in the middle of here. So I sat on that, the boys sat down, and Dave still had to scrunch down. So that is our new family picture. There's my boys. So this here is Brady. He's my youngest one. And this is Riley, who you guys have seen. Brady's the one that always helps me with the techie stuff. And Dave, well, he never makes an appearance. And then, I'll just show them off. I took this picture, meaning I used Kristen's really fancy camera and just pushed the button a bunch of times. So this is my brother Kip, and my sister-in-law Kristen. This is all done in my mom's yard. It turned out so great. Oh, that's me again. So the picture she took of the boys. So this is taken outside of my childhood home. But yeah, Riley and Brady. I don't like myself in this picture so much, but this is our whole family. So my parents are sitting down, I'm in front of them. Now, can you guys see Dexter in the middle? We didn't know he was going to be in the picture. He just popped up there. We didn't even know he was in the picture until she went to process the pictures. So yeah, Dexter has a little, cameo there. And then Kip and Kristen on the one side, Dave, and then the two boys. Yeah, but yeah, I think it's hilarious that Dexter somehow got in there. I don't think he's wearing his cone. No, he's wearing his cone. That was when he, he'd just been fixed. And then, so these all printed up so nice. I'll show you some of the other ones. This is one she took of just me and Dave. Dave's my big bear. Oh, and I think that's all. Where are my little 4x6s? Oh, this is one she took. This is my mom's brother. This is my uncle and my two youngest cousins, which are the same age as my kids. So Alex and Jess, they are my first cousins. But my uncle is only like 9 years older than me. So he had his kids in his 30s and I had them in the 20s. So Alex and Jess are the same age as Riley and Brady. What else do we got here? Oh, I love this picture. It's my mom and dad outside my dad's shop. She just says she takes such beautiful pictures. Here's another one of my parents. I mean, they're 69 and 70. They don't look it, hey? They look really good. I don't know which one I look like. What do you guys think? Do I look like my mom or my dad? I don't know. I think I look like my grandmother. And that's it. So yeah. Super excited to get these pictures. Super excited. Very happy with them. Yay! So yeah, we almost filled the whole class. See, Diane is saying, Cynthia, that the zippers are easy. Oh, welcome back, Frankie. We are all done for the day. You think I look like my mom? Aw. My personality is a lot like my dad. Anna will tell you so. She's met both of them. Actually, Dawn has too. But yeah, I'm very happy with those pictures. So blessed to have such a talented photographer in the family. So we never have to pay for pictures. I just have to pay for getting them all done up. Okay, so just to repeat again, homework. Back panel, base it to foam. Bottom panel, base it to foam. Do your connectors on the back panel exactly like we did this. It just will be working from the middle. Again, correct my mistake. Pull out your basic stitches here to put in your nameplate or handmade tag if you're doing it, about 1 inch above the seam. Thank goodness we didn't sew this to anything, so that'll be easy to do. Just make sure you don't put your nameplate through the lining. And then your lining pockets the way you want, with one of them at least being a zipper pocket with an opening in the bottom. Do you know what, Cynthia? If in class you find you're overwhelmed with the zippers, let me know and you can watch, and then you and I can always, the next day or whatever, we can do a private little FaceTime and I can do it with you as well. I totally don't mind doing that. So do not stress about the zippers. Do not stress if you feel like once we do all 4 sides of the zipper, you just need a break from it. You let me know. You and I can find a time together and we can FaceTime and I can help you. Not a problem. Diane did it, so you can do it too. You can do it. I said the only hard part is top stitching in the tube, but it's really not hard. It's just really awkward. I'm not gonna lie. There's 2 top stitches along the zippers that are hard, but not hard, awkward. So go and watch the tutorial I posted so you kind of prepare yourself for what we're going to do. Next week, do not worry about it, Cynthia. You've been on hiatus from sewing for a little bit. I want you to get your Sojo back. So if there's something that you're struggling with, we can FaceTime together so I can see what you're doing and I can talk you through it. Not a problem. Anybody that's a member, I'm open to do that with any of you, just so you all know, okay? I am here for you. I truly love bag making, and I truly love that we can do this together. And if I can help you in any way, you guys help me. I make mistakes and you're like, Brandy, I'm like, yeah, good thing you're here. So yeah, but you'll be fine. I know you will. Your bag's going to be gorgeous. All right, so any questions at all? So that's the plan for next week. Again, we'll do the zippers and finish up the exterior. It should take about an hour 10 minutes. The linings, when you guys do those pockets, are pretty much done. Trust me, the linings are so easy. This is the easiest in the world to turn bag. We're turning it through a complete opening in the bottom. So easy. And then top stitching it. It's so fast. You wouldn't think it would be. It is so fast. Like, I honestly think this could almost be, I don't even know what she has this pattern marked as. I don't think it's quite intermediate. I think it's more of an advanced beginner, maybe? What do you guys think? I don't think she says what she thinks the skill level is. But I know you can do it. Ooh, nice. Yes, if you can only get one industrial machine, I mean, I have 2. I do prefer my 1541 just because it sits lower because I'm so short. And I do most of my work on that, but I do all my finishing on my cylinder arm for top stitching. It just is easy. Everything's doable on the flatbed, but I feel so lucky to have both. My cylinder arm also has an extension table that I can put on it, but the machine still sits so tall that if I were to sew 8 hours a day at it like I do, my back would kill me. So I'm really lucky that I have both machines. I feel the same way, Jade, that it's an advanced beginner, and we are all that level or higher, so. And even for a beginner, you just take it slow. I said, there's really just one tough part. The rest is simple. All right, does that sound good for everybody? Everybody knows what the homework is? I know it sounds like a lot, but I swear it'll only take you 15 minutes to half hour tops. It's not that much. We did most of it today. So yeah, and this was the only part we screwed up, and I apologize for that, but I'm glad that it's an easy fix. So today you learn how to go and put your nameplate in when you forget you're doing your nameplate. Or you just don't put a nameplate in. Up to you. You don't have the room, you're 5 feet tall. Yeah. I have this chair. It's a drafting chair to sit at it, but it's not the most comfortable chair. My computer gaming chair is way better. All right, Jade. Lunchtime for you. Jade, were you in Hawaii? I know I ask this all the time. I think you're in Hawaii, which makes me jealous. And you didn't catch fire if you're in Hawaii? Are you in Hawaii? Yes, Diane, I was the same. Like, I was stressed about, that's why we didn't have class last week, because I hadn't sewn it up and I thought it was going to be super hard and super involved, and I wanted to have at least one under my belt before I showed you guys. But it's not complicated. Diane, would you agree it's only the 2 top stitches when we go to put the back onto the zipper that are hard? The rest isn't hard. And it's not even hard, it's just freaking awkward. And doing it on a cylinder arm, I tried, didn't make it any easier. Trust me. Which I probably still would have done it on the flatbed if it made it easier, because most people have a flatbed, so. Alrighty. Well, it is now 5 o'clock. We got the full 2 hours in. So yeah, next week we will play it by ear. I think we can get it done in the full 2 hours. If we need to go a little longer, we will then. But yeah. Oh, you're in Oahu, where Honolulu is located. Ah, see, I remembered you're in Hawaii. One day I'll come visit. I've never been. All right, everybody, have a great night. And Diane, you started sewing bags 10 months ago, 11 months ago. You do so well. And Diane tested mine and Anna's bag too, and she did amazingly. We really enjoyed having you back, Cynthia. You too, Frankie. So nice to have two of the veterans join us again after a summer off. We missed you so much in our little group here, so glad to have you back. All right, so yeah, Cynthia, if you have any problems with anything, please do message me during the week if you need help at all. That goes for everybody if you're working through it after the class, because I know a lot of people do that. Reach out, and I'm here for you guys if you need help at all. All right? Okay, Diane, let's go see Jade in Hawaii. How about in January when it's cold here in Canada? Let's go. Okay, so I will see you guys all, some of you on Tuesday for what I think will be our final Yasmoda class. We will see. I think we can get through it all. I think it's a pretty fast sew too that looks a lot more complicated than it is. And yeah, the rest of you I will see on Thursday unless you reach out to me beforehand if you need a hand. All right? Love you guys all of you. Thank you for sewing along with me, my friends, and I will see you soon. And if you, no pressure, if you're making the up and away bag, post it on the pages, all of them. Sew whatever size swag on our pages, please, please, please. We need your help to get it out there, so just hold your breath. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys.